Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Farlands or Bust, your favorite series on YouTube. It's your favorite series. Oh, I hear footsteps. I hear footsteps. It might be somebody else's favorite series as well. Oh, they might have been my own footsteps. So pay no attention to the paranoid man with the 3D glasses on. We are going to grab Wolfie and continue heading west here in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3, if our boat doesn't travel away without us. Minecraft Beta 1.7.3, the last version of the game, to still contain... to still contain some sort of pollinated fragments in the air causing me to choke. No, to still contain the Farlands. And we're continuing here with episode 382. I'm gonna try to create a canal so that I can continue using this boat without too much issues. But I feel like... Oh, yep, well, that had to happen. Anyway, thanks a lot. The Minecraft boats, preventing me from doing awesome things since 1973. But yeah, Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. This is episode 382, and it is Wednesday, July 23rd, 2014. We are continuing to raise money for Child's Play charity. This is a walk-a-thon, after all, and over at farlandsabus.com, you will find that we are up to $7,335 raised for Child's Play charity this season. Season 5 of Farlands or Bust. Appreciate everybody who continues to donate. And also, it's July 23rd, 2014. I've got a space launch notice. Launch notice, launch notice, launch notice. That's kind of annoying. I don't think I'm going to do that ever again for launch news. But yeah, we've got a space rocket launch. They happen so frequently. It's almost as if we live in the future. But yeah, we've got a rocket launch scheduled for liftoff at 7:03 p.m. Eastern Time. That is 23:03 GMT, for those of you who go by GMT. It's going to be 6:03 p.m. Central Time, that's my time zone, or, wait, let me do the math, 4:03 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a Delta IV rocket from Florida, Cape Canaveral, Florida, and it is going to be launching Department of Defense and Air Force satellites to geosynchronous orbit. The Delta IV is actually we normally recently hear about Atlas, is Atlas? Atlas 5? Atlas rocket? Wait, no. What? No, Atlas. I don't know. Delta IV. It's an unmanned mission. It's launched, I believe it's United Launch Alliance, ULA is the private contractor who launches the Delta IV. It's out of Cape Canaveral, similar location that the SpaceX launches take place, right next door to Kennedy Space Center, where the NASA facilities, and of course where the space shuttle once took off, but not the same launch pad. These are different facilities altogether. Cape Canaveral is owned by the Air Force, whereas NASA Kennedy Space Center is owned by NASA, the non-military arm of space flight, I suppose you could say. But yeah, it's going to be pretty cool, so check that out. It is going to be, I believe, I'm 100%, 99% sure, but it should be live streamed on NASA TV. Just go to nasa.gov/NTV, and it gives you the options for which channels to watch NASA TV on. Otherwise, websites like spaceflightnow.com or nasaspaceflight.com give links and or direct feeds to the launch countdowns and the launch videos. So yeah, launch notice here in Farlands or Bust, doing a little bit of a service so that you guys can see some awesomeness. It still amazes me, and it's good that it amazes me, but it still amazes me every time I retweet or tweet, hey, there's a launch going on right now, and I provide the link, how many times I hear back from followers saying, whoa, cool, I've never seen one live on TV like that before. I've never seen a rocket launch live. And I'm like, what? It's craziness. You gotta get with it. Start following not just me, but other, NASA and like NASA Spaceflight Now, all these other sources. So they pretty much almost every commercial and military space launch is broadcast. Japan, the Japanese Space Agency often broadcasts their launches. Europe, mostly dominated by Ariane spaceflight, broadcasts their launches. I mean, there's even launches, out of India and China. You can often scrounge a little bit harder to find those launches, but obviously those can be found in certain broadcasts or live streams provided. And of course, Russia, the Russian space flight, whether or not it's manned Soyuz or a commercial flight, which is why it was kind of a big deal when SpaceX said last month that they weren't going to be, or actually earlier this month, that they weren't going to be broadcasting one of their commercial launches. But that's been resolved. I think they got the picture, and they're going to be providing broadcasts of their launches from now on. I thought I needed some Wolfie treats, and I got some Wolfie treats. But yeah, I just want to give you guys a heads up on that. I do have a topic. I'm going to try my best not to spend the entire episode talking about it, but we talk about YouTube a lot. We talk about... talk about YouTube news and the goings-ons behind the scenes of YouTube, but the bigger, I don't know if the biggest, but a big YouTube story hitting the rounds right now is that which is related to copyright infringement. In particular, a large music label known as Ultra Records is suing YouTuber Michelle Phan, I think it's Phan. Michelle Phan, who has a makeup and beauty channel, which I've heard of this, but unbeknownst to me, that is like one of the major subcategories of YouTube channels. Obviously gaming, if you're looking directly at subs and view counts, I believe gaming is up there in the top with also music and music videos, but then there's the vlog and comedy sort of things. Makeup and beauty channels are actually pretty significant, a pretty significant chunk of the YouTube community, and excuse me, and oh man, public speaking and proper broadcast microphone usage and not talking with a frog in your throat should be something else I should look up on the YouTubes. I'm sure there's channels dedicated to that. But I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, Michelle Phan is apparently the biggest, if not, one of the biggest makeup. Careful, Wolfie! Makeup channels. She has 6.7 million subscribers. Is being sued by this Ultra Records for copyright infringement, basically using background music to her videos of music that they own the rights to, that the artists have signed with Ultra Records, and they own the rights to this music. It's not the artists, it's this very large, what's the word I'm looking for, music label, Ultra Records, and that includes artists such as Cascade, deadmau5, and Calvin Harris, among others. I must not be paying attention to the big time music, because the only name I recognize in the list provided is deadmau5. But anyway, basically they're just flat out suing her, and Michelle Phan, or at least the spokespeople for her, are saying that she claims that Ultra Records actually already gave permission to use this music in her videos. So we'll have to, that'll definitely be taken into account. It seems, at least on the surface, like this is going to be fought, and it might go to court. So they're going to collect whatever evidence they had. Hopefully she got that in writing. Otherwise, it might not be a legally binding permission to use this music. But Ultra is seeking $150,000 for each instance of copyright infringement. That is actually the maximum allowed by law. And I'm not sure, and it hasn't been quite disseminated what each infringement means. Does that mean each song used? Or say she used a song multiple times in different videos, so each video where an Ultra Records song is in the background, in which case it could be, I'm not sure how many videos she has on her channel, but it could be hundreds. You know, we could be talking into the tens of millions of dollars here. Some people are saying, oh, it's for every view on every video. That would be into the trillions of dollars. While I don't doubt Ultra Records being incredibly greedy about the whole thing, I don't think that they're going to do something claiming that they deserve the equivalent of the federal deficit of worth of money. But yeah, let's continue talking about this. And my personal take in the morning. And confusing and disorienting and somewhat angering copyright lawsuit on YouTube newsiness. Right, Wolfie? You took a little bit of a spill, so let's give you a treat and continue west through this rather barren tundra, snowy landscape. But yeah, you all know me from previous talks and chats, and if you follow me on Twitter, even recently, I've had some more fun times with the content ID and stuff on YouTube. So you all know me that I'm not going to be the first to, or I'm sorry, I will be. I would be the first to criticize and condemn the very confusing and poor way that copyright is, the laws are written and the ways they are enforced or not enforced, specifically being in the last, just copyright law in general in the last decades. The laws have been changed and written and copyright terms extended in favor and due to the very wealthy lobbyists of the music and movies and what I can call big media companies, so that, not so much to protect their rights to their content or anything like that, but for the sole purpose of maximizing their control and profit over these products, over these items. It used to be that copyright, and I don't have this, I should have looked this up, but copyright, at the turn of the century was written so that it would spur innovation and new creations, in that people wouldn't be copying off of each other, so they'd have to create their new, a new creation or whatnot. But it has since transformed into something where it is stifling new creations, in that these media companies are holding on to these these artworks, these music compositions, well beyond even the original creator and artist is gone and dead. They're holding on to these licenses and making profits off of that, as opposed to looking for new and exciting and different works to monetize and bring in. So it's kind of things have flipped, the tables have turned, and they're certainly out more so for the money than, say, to protect the creators and the creativity of their industries and whatnot. But anyway, that's just my background kind of angle I come at this from. However, this case in general is a little bit tough to form a proper opinion on. Obviously, whoa, interesting. Obviously, if Michelle Phan did not have the legal license to use this music in her videos, as is being claimed, then that is indeed copyright infringement on a legal scale. And it is an issue, and to be honest, 6.7 million subscribers. Each of her videos get over 1 million views each. within a week or something like that. She's, this is no small operation. This isn't just somebody uploading videos to YouTube for funsies or making remix videos or whatever like that. This is a full-time job. This is I'm assuming at that size, I'm assuming she's probably created like a corporation. She's incorporated or has like an LLC in her name. Just because when you get to that size, you're making in ad revenue upwards of 7 figures a year. You tend to be advised to not take that on as a single, as a person, as a sole proprietor. You tend to kind of spread out your liabilities into an LLC or a company. So I'm assuming she's done that. She obviously has spokespeople and lawyers on standby, on retainer, I suppose. So it's no small operation. She is like a company, like a production company. And if you look at her videos, it's not just she's in front of a camera. Maybe she started out that way, and that's great. And growth and success on YouTube, thumbs up. But her videos now are multi-camera, different scenes. She has producers and camera people and editors. So it's a big operation. And at that, I feel like maybe should have taken extra steps to ensure she has the legal right to use this music. And if she does, as she claims, then what the heck are Ultra Records doing suing her? So I hope she does. I hope she does. That's basically what I'm saying. People's argument against that is, well, she has millions of views and of views on each of her videos. Every time she puts one of these songs in the background, she's giving Ultra Records free advertisement and spreading the word about this music. True, that is true, but that is not legally an excuse for copyright infringement. You also have to look at it as how is the music helping her videos? If her videos didn't have music in the background, would they have the same value? Going a step further, if she was using music other than this, deadmau5 and these other artists are big artists, I'm assuming, high production values, they're well funded by this Ultra Records. She's using this music, high value music, versus say your free to use your CC licensed, much like your Kevin MacLeod, your Incomtech.com music. There's a different level of value that's being added. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to make a boat. A value that's being added to her videos thanks to the music. I mean, imagine, the Mindcrack UHC theme is an Incomtech.com song. It's great. I like it. It goes with the theme, and everybody likes his music, and I appreciate what Kevin MacLeod does, and because of that, I chip in every now and again to his tip jar on his website because I realize even having his music adds value to my videos. But imagine if the UHC theme on every episode of Ultra Hardcore was a song composed by who's the guy? Who's the guy? Like some big time movie composer. Who's the one who did like say Inception or The Dark Knight? I had his name on the tip of my tongue. Hold on, I have to look it up now because Hans Zimmer. Imagine if it was a Hans Zimmer composition, orchestra and whatnot, very dramatic, that we had at the intro of every episode of UHC. You would definitely, to the viewer, it would portray much higher value production quality than, say, the freely available stock music that we do use. I'm not saying I don't like or I don't want to use Kevin MacLeod's music. I'm just saying, just from a perspective of just a random viewer who finds this video, oh, hey, this is great music in the background. This is going to be an epic, a lot of emotion and an epic thing I'm going to watch here. And simply based on that, there is value added to your video. So it's a two-way street, so we're looking at it like that. I'm basically trying to explain to you how I'm so torn between which, and I'm not saying you have to take sides. There's, like I said, probably going to be a lawsuit and probably court proceedings if either of the sides don't back down to this. So the courts will decide, I suppose, for better or for worse. But I am very conflicted when I hear about this story. Also, even in this case, the artists who I listed have come out publicly on Twitter and said that they themselves would allow Michelle Phan to use their music on her channel, and that the copyright proceedings and the fact that Ultra Music is representing on their behalf this lawsuit on the behalf of their music, this lawsuit is outrageous to them, and that brings up the point of maybe what the possible oversteps and overreaches of these large corporations, these media labels like Ultra Records. And like I've said before, their primary concern is to make more money, not necessarily to say, oh, thank you for making this amazing music, we'll help you produce it and distribute it, and we'll take a small cut, but it's yours. The music, the contracts that these artists signs gave the copyright of the music, not to themselves, but over to Ultra Records. So there's definitely a problem with the way modern media is made in that regard. And, you have these large media labels seemingly struggling, sinking their claws deeper into their content because they see competition from indie labels, from self-released works on the internet. The Kickstarter style, the fan funding, they may have been needed back in the days before the internet and ease of distribution for musicians and artists to release and make money and make a living from their work. But now, are they so much needed? So you have these corporations that are, like I said, grasping for dear life and defending themselves against this new wave of media distribution. That's a problem that you have to consider as well. Sure, the law is on their side, but they kind of wrote the law themselves by buying out the Congress people to do so. Just a kerfuffle. And I promised I wouldn't talk the entire episode about this. I'm almost done. We'll wrap this up in the morning. And Kurt blabbles on foreverness. Oop, this is gonna hurt. Yep. All right, let's go this way. A lot of snow this episode. There's no business like snow business. Oh god. Okay, let's go over here. Let's get Wolfie to spawn. Wolfie, are you right? Oh, you actually survived that much better than I did. Yeah, you did. I know. Don't rub it in, will you? Jeez. But what was my final point here? Oh, I have been seeing on the news sources and the blogs that maybe Michelle Phan is a huge, one of the top 50 channels on YouTube as a whole. Obviously, YouTube makes money. The 45% of ad revenue from Michelle Phan in the share, depending on the share contract she has with YouTube. Maybe YouTube or her network. She's with a network. I think her network is actually herself, like that LLC I was talking about earlier that she probably started to not just be on her own running this YouTube channel. I think. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but it does show that she is partnered through a network as opposed to just directly partnered with YouTube. But people say, oh, YouTube should step up and defend her in this. And oh, you guys have not been around long enough, have you? That's never going to happen. Obviously, Ultra Records decided to not go through the content ID system on YouTube and just go directly for the throat and file this lawsuit. Obviously, that is because they see this channel, 6.7 million subscribers, millions of views per video, and they see the dollar signs. Like I said, they're not interested in protecting the copyright status of their works. They're not interested in protecting the fair and legal use of their works. They're interested in the dollar bills, y'all. If they wanted to just stop her from using the music, they would have used either the Content ID system or just filed DMCA takedowns. But they did not. So this is happening outside of the scope of YouTube, and that's the reason YouTube created the Content ID system is, once a claim goes back and forth twice and an agreement can't be made, YouTube basically goes hands off, we are hands off of this from now on. You have to file a lawsuit or legal actions, and this is happening now outside of the YouTube ecosystem. Good luck, and have a good day. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, sort of situation. So YouTube is not going to help. If anything, YouTube lately has been showing itself to be much more on the side of the large media conglomerates and companies and copyright holders than their own users. Even at the scale of her channel. I mean, just ask Captain Sparkles how that worked out for him in regards to his Minecraft-style parody of Gangnam Style, even though it was literally welcome and legal within fair use. Gangnam Style and the copyright owners there had filed through the Content ID system, and it was just simply the fact, I believe, that, Captain Sparkles didn't have any sort of funds or backup to be able to actually fight it all the way to court, so he just took down the video and said it's not worth it, and that's a real shame. YouTube didn't help him out there, his network didn't help him out there. I don't know the details of that. You'll forgive me for not expanding beyond that, other than my wild speculations, as I often do. But yeah, YouTube ain't gonna help her. This is they're just taking their hands off and saying, all right, that's fine. They already just had to settle with Viacom. They finally settled that $1 billion lawsuit that Viacom put up against them. So more and more, we're seeing how that even YouTube, the very platform that we've come so dearly to love, is not even really on our side. You kind of have to, I'm starting to look, I know I've been kind of pretty obviously against the whole network, YouTube network, the MCN, the multi-channel network setup, especially in gaming situations. But I've started to look at, okay, I'm directly partnered with YouTube. YouTube is my network. How are they earning their 45%? How are they supporting me or backing me up as a creator on their channel? And that that kind of flips the tables a little bit, and it's kind of like, maybe if there is a network out there who is a little bit more helpful than YouTube itself, maybe that might be something to consider, or not. I don't know. There's nothing happening there on that front or anything like that. But once you start looking at YouTube as your network, then it's kind of like, you guys stink. You guys stink indeed. But anyway, that was just kind of some interesting news about topics of which we have discussed before that I felt like discussing here. And there are articles. I got a lot of the information. There was a quick article on Ars Techna. The blog, the technology blog, is where I got a lot of the information about how much they're asking per copyright instance of infringement. Her response saying that she has permissions, they gave her permissions to use the music, and so on and so forth. So I'm a little bit torn. I'm not sure. Obviously, I would rather live in a world where the copyright extensions and ownerships didn't go directly to these large corporations to use them to maximize their profits. And instead was there to protect people like, I want it to protect my works. I don't want people to be able to copy and paste my works and put them up on their channel and start making money and stuff like that. So, stuff like that, things like that. I am open to the sharing and remixing and transformative works of my own, which is why I do support artists and people like Kevin MacLeod, who release their things as Creative Commons and allow such expansion upon the the culture that we're in here, but otherwise, anyway, like I said, don't want to talk the entire episode, just 3/4 of it about that. I have some good news as far as your media consumption is concerned. The Simpsons are going to become available. All 522 episodes of The Simpsons show will be available online. Thanks to FX. FXX is actually the network that is taking ownership of the Simpsons episodes, and they will make it available online in Simpsons World, a Simpsons World portal and app where you can watch every episode for free starting October 2014. Unfortunately, there's a catch. Unfortunately, the only way you're able to access the full episodes is by having an appropriate television provider authentication login. So that means you have to be a subscriber to Comcast, to AT&T, to Cox or Times Warner Television in order to access these things. So yes, good, but also still sticking with the old guard of needing a cable company login, and so a step in the right direction, but maybe 2 steps a little bit to the left that aren't exactly right. Ooh, floating sand, water tension. And you will maintain your floating status for the rest of time. Watch the side there. But yeah, that was interesting. I make a lot of Simpsons references, and I am, again, surprised every time I make a Simpsons quote or a reference, and all the questions of you young whippersnappers. What is that from? I've never heard that before in my life. What? It's the Simpsons. It's the goggles. They do nothing. How could you not know that? You know. So now you can catch up. All you folks who have been born in the last since the year 2000 who don't know a thing about the Simpsons can go back and watch every single episode if you have a login with your cable company. But yeah. Oh man, that should be interesting. Kind of makes me wonder why I've spent all this money collecting all of the DVD box sets of every season, and I don't watch them. Some of them are still in their plastic wrap. They're in their plastic wrap. In their plastic wrap, unopened. So I stopped doing that. I think I have the first 11 seasons or something like that. But anyway, I do want to quickly thank. You'll notice that from the last episode, we raised an additional $100 for Child's Play charity. That came from one donor, Nightblade95, who didn't leave a question, so I just wanted to give them a little bit of a shout out, and thanks for that. And I also got another $100 donation prior to that from Dominic in Germany, $100 donation. He left a question appropriately about kind of a topic kind of along the lines of what we're talking about here, but kind of a little bit beyond the scope of my own topics I tend to talk about here in Far Lands or Bust. He asks about consumerism and money and capitalism and how it affects our democracy and stuff like that. I might give a few thoughts in the next episode. It's going to be Fan Friday. I'm going to be trying to answer as many questions as possible in the next episode on Friday. But I also wanted to make note of Dominic from Germany for his $100 donation as well before ending this episode. Indeed. Woof. Whoa. Is the spider already spawned, or am I? Oh, I'm near some sort of cave. Let's find somewhere else, Wolfie. Yep, over here. This one is actually going to be pretty level with the ground. But hopefully it is nowhere near, whoops, some sort of cave system like that other one was. But yeah, this was episode 382. One day, Far Lands or Bust will have 522 episodes, just like The Simpsons. And then, well, we can already say that every episode of Far Lands or Bust is on YouTube, available for free. I only, obviously in exchange for watching an ad or two possibly, but otherwise for free on YouTube, Far Lands or Bust. We're one step ahead of The Simpsons, everybody. Look at us. We're awesome. And no network or large distribution platform or music label necessary. This is all this is indie content. Oh, anyway, I should stop talking, make the few beds here for tonight and the next episode. Make a boat too while I'm at it. And thank everybody for watching, and got so much trash here in this inventory. Thank everybody for watching and supporting and liking and commenting and donating to Child's Play charity and leaving questions. Getting some more donations before Friday, Fan Friday, and I'll add it to the list here of those to answer in a future episode of Farlands Bust. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. Oh, I almost shot the bed. Launch notice, launch notice, launch notice.